a king to a guy? What's a guy to a non-believer who don't believe in anything? Make it out alive. Alright, alright.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to the Englewood Call. My name is Sonia Harper.
And I'm Aisha Butler.
And you are joining us for another edition. We are the Resident Association of Greater Englewood, and we want you to know that we thank you for tuning in this evening. We have a lot of exciting topics,
Yeah,
right?
we
have
do.
some brand new breaking news in Englewood. We've actually been breaking it already on the show for the past 2 months.
Yes,
but
we have.
What's that exciting news we're going to talk about
It
today?
is the Green and Healthy Plan was approved at the Chicago Public Commission today. So the plan that we've been talking about the land use in Englewood, as well as West Englewood and Woodlawn and Washington Park, actually went to council and was approved. And the large lot program, which we talked a lot about before, is actually going through. So
That's right. We'll have much more details about that coming up. And we just want to give you our contact information. We always want you to know what's the best way to get in contact with Rage. Our website, rageenglewood.org, or you can always email us at joinrage@gmail.com.
And then, of course, we're very social media friendly. You can look at us on Rage. It's basically Rage, Resident Association of Greater Englewood. And we also have a Twitter handle, which is join_rage. So if you're using Twitter or Facebook, you can definitely find us on there. And for other folks who are on Instagram, we also have an Instagram account, which is rage_Englewood. We post a lot of different pictures of the community and other things that are happening in the area.
And we also want to, of course, give you the latest happenings this week in the Englewood community. The 16th Ward is having their monthly community meeting this Saturday. It's taking place from 10 a.m. to noon at Hope Presbyterian Church. That's located at 1354 West 61st Street. So if you're in the 16th Ward, you want to come out and meet your alderman, you have community concerns, or you want to learn about opportunities, please come out to your 16th Ward community meeting.
And I would even say if you have any questions about the large lot program, I would think our alderman of the 6th Ward should be able to talk about that process and tell you what to do in terms of applying for this large lot program.
That's right.
Then I could talk about this, but we have Dirt to Dish, which is also another Saturday fun event. And this is really geared towards young people and families, and it's at Growing Home. And if you're not familiar with Englewood or know what's happening in Englewood, this is the only organic farm within the community, a certified organic farm at 5814 South Woods, and that is Dirt to Dish. Talk a little bit about what that actually is.
Sure. Dirt to Dish is going to be it's a family-friendly event, and it's geared toward the youth. And it's all about teaching kids where their food comes from. So there's going to be a gardening component, and then also how to prepare a healthy meal. So they're also going to be able to take part in a cooking demonstration, and even maybe they're also going to be taking home their own plants, their own vegetable plants as well. So nice, fun event for the youth around nutrition right there at Growing Home this weekend.
Perfect. And then it looks like the Canaan Community Church is also having an event this Saturday. They're calling all artists and poets for an open mic night. I love open mics. I don't care where it is. I love an open mic. And this is located in West Englewood at 1701 West 55th Street, right off the boulevard. And it starts at 6 o'clock, and anyone is welcome to attend that. So we definitely to me, it sounds like your whole Saturday could be planned out.
Right.
In Englewood and in West Englewood, the whole day. Really, West Englewood mostly is going in this week.
That's right. Great West Englewood. And it looks like the Kennedy King College has a brand new president, and you are invited to a meet and greet with President Arshel Stevens. That's going to be taking place March 26th at noon at the Sikia restaurant, and that's located on the Kennedy King College campus at 740 West 63rd Street.
Yeah, I think one thing about this is that we've switched over presidents quite a bit at Kidney King. And I
Yes.
think it's actually a good idea that they're having a meet and greet with the new president. I think they want to listen to community. They want to have some conversations. It's at Sakia Restaurant, which is a beautiful restaurant in the area.
It is.
And so we just want to remind you that this is a call-in show. So we're asking you to call us at 312-738-1060. We do have a lot of news we're trying to cover, but we also welcome your calls to have any discussion or any conversation about what's happening in the area.
And we also had some more exciting events going on today. The Illinois Advisory Committee was here, and they were to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, giving an update on food deserts. So we're going to give a little update on that later as well. That's some more breaking news in Englewood.
Oh, yes. And then Rage, the Resident Association of Greater Englewood, we're sponsoring something different now. This is a meetup with Rage. We get so many calls from students and universities and teachers and organizations in the area who want to partner with Rage, who are looking at how could they engage community. They want to hear a voice from the area. And so instead of Rage members being stretched and meeting with everybody on separate times, we want everyone to come at one time to Kelly Library. And this is invite. We do ask that you email us because the space is limited. I think we only have about 3 more seats left. So if you're doing some projects in the community and you heard that you should talk to Rage and you want some ideas about how to engage community, this is definitely a little meetup for yourself. So I do appreciate that we're able to do that because a lot of us are volunteers and don't have time to meet all through the day and meet with so many different organizations. So this is an opportunity for us to have a panel of Rage members who are mostly are Englewood residents, either Englewood or West Englewood. So you'll get it up close and personal account of what it's like to live and be in the community. And still don't forget, this is a call-in show. We are live on CAN TV, and our number is 312-738-1060. Me and Sonia talk all the time, so we definitely want to hear from you. So make sure that you call us. But we'll move on to some exciting things that happened this week. Today, actually.
Today, right. You were down at City Council today, right?
I
Tell
was.
me what you were doing there representing Rage.
As we were saying that, this is a volunteer organization, and, I don't work for Rage necessarily. I work downtown, but on lunch I was able to go to City Council at City Hall and listen to the Green and Healthy Neighborhood Plan that we've talked about plenty of times actually be presented to the Chicago Public Commission for approval. And what I think is interesting is that it's been so many plans that have happened in the community that really has never made it down to policy and haven't made it down to the commission to make this actually policy. This is what's going to happen. So it was an exciting time. The fact that Rage was involved in this process since the inception. Some of our recommendations, even the large lot program of giving homeowners the opportunity to purchase lots on their block, regardless if they're next door to it or not, made it through the plan. And everybody's been writing and sending doing stories about it. It was a huge story. And the reason that it's breaking in Englewood because we took the time to survey residents before it even got approved to find out if residents were interested in this. So I'm excited about it. I'm hoping to grab me a couple of lots on my block and have my own Englewood estate.
Right. And we encourage you at home to do the same too. And please reach out to your neighbors or friends and family who you might know or who live in the Englewood community. But they also need to be taking advantage of this opportunity. This is just one more way that we can have a say in our own community development and
I
our
want
own
to show, not to cut you off, show the number. So if people think not to necessarily call Rage, make sure that you call Jeannie Chandler at the City of Chicago at 312-744-0605. If you're a homeowner and you're interested in purchasing a vacant space on your block for $1, that is the number to call, not necessarily Rage. You could go on our website to get info, but to actually start the application process, you will call the city.
That's right. And it looks like we do have a caller on the line this evening. Thank you for calling. Hello. Good evening.
Oh, good evening to you. I talked to you young ladies once before. How you doing?
We're good. Thank you.
I want to ask you, do y'all live in the Englewood area?
Yes, we do. She's on the west.
Y'all know about Englewood Terrace on 63rd and Long?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with the Englewood Terrace. I actually live blocks away from there. Sonia's in West Englewood, and I'm in Englewood. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for calling.
And then I think you were busy today with some commissions and some U.S. people
Yes.
too. And what about food deserts?
Yeah.
Talk to the people about that.
Well, actually, they were the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights was in Englewood today. The
Wow.
Illinois Advisory Committee was here, and they wanted to get an update on our food desert status. They actually wanted to know if the initiatives that have been coming to our neighborhood to kind of help out with the food desert, if they're actually working, right? And so, I guess before I begin, I want to give kind of people at home who may not know the definition of what a food desert is,
exactly.
but it's basically a place with very little or no access to healthy and affordable fresh food. In most neighborhoods and other neighborhoods, folks are able to walk to a grocery store or walk to a place where they can find an array of fresh options for food and healthy, affordable options for food. And so I believe personally, that food is medicine, right?
Exactly.
And that when you're not properly fed, you don't think right, you don't behave right. When you're not properly nourished, you can't operate at your full potential, right? I don't think our community is able to operate at its full potential if we can't even do the basic necessary thing of feed our residents, right? So I do appreciate Congress and the president sending the Illinois Advisory Committee and the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights to our neighborhood to hear from us on if their initiatives are even working, and then also what else could be done to improve that situation.
That is so true. I mean, the other day I was headed on 63rd Street to California, and I was told to bring fruit for a meeting, and I didn't go back to Walgreens, but I headed on Hosted on down, and I actually could not stop to find fresh fruit. And so it was kind of this reality that, oh my God, I really do live in this food desert. I mean, I've heard the term before, and I know it's a very negative term, but we actually are, it needs to be some more healthy options, and I'm glad that it's some conversations about those things being done.
You're absolutely right. And I think one of the greatest things that I learned today is how people are linking our food desert status to more of a civil rights issue, right?
Oh, wow.
Because it's only happening in Black and brown communities, right? So I kind of like that. That's a different take on it that I really hadn't looked at it from that perspective.
It is a civil rights issue.
But if it is a civil rights issue, maybe we'll get a little bit more boots on the ground, a little bit more serious about increasing our community development so that we can attract more reputable food retailers. And so some of the things that I recommended that the commission do to help out on this is basically encourage more reputable food retailers to come to the neighborhood, and also to help out on this oversaturation of corner stores, right? That we have in liquor stores that just don't promote healthy eating and don't promote, don't stock healthy food that young families depend on for nutrition. But one of the biggest things that came out of it, and a lot of people came up to me afterwards saying, is that I made the point that there is no consistent or dependable communication of these healthy food options, right? If we live in a food desert, then everyone, especially our leaders, should be breaking their backs to let residents know where these healthy food options are, or where education around this happens. We have the highest number of preventable diet-related diseases in our community. We have more people dropping dead from cancer and heart disease than we do from bullets, right? And so
that's the real issue.
Right. We have no elders in our community because they can't make it to elder status. And it has to do with our food access in our community, definitely. So I definitely thank the commission for coming, and I appreciated the opportunity to be able to speak up for us and what we're doing in Englewood. To try
and you living there is giving them a reality check, and not someone who just works in the community and deeming it. It looks like we have a caller, and I know we have another segment we have to go into. So caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Actually, this is Corey from Urban Prep.
Oh, hi.
How are you? I was flipping through channels and I saw this, and I wanted to call in because I wanted to just thank you first for your support.
Oh, wow.
In Englewood, and also, I don't live in Englewood. I live in Hyde Park, but I'm definitely behind you guys. And my question is about the food desert. I just want to say real quick that our students are highly interested in this. I once went to Whole Foods and brought a bunch of food in to just test it out, because some people say, that, our young people won't eat the food. They're used to junk food. They destroyed the food. They loved it. And it was awesome. And I just want to know, I know there's an initiative to maybe build a Whole Foods in Englewood. Is it still happening? How can we, how can the teachers at Urban Prep help support that? You know, what's going on with that?
Yeah, the Whole Foods is still happening as far as we know. They have to get the land together first before they're able to build, and that's supposed to come in 2016 is what we were told. We've been working a lot, even still this year with Urban Prep, and we just started a partnership with Iman to go to some of the corner stores to start offering healthy food. So we actually had Urban Prep on our list of people to contact to help us really get this out in the neighborhood and build the relationships with the corner stores. And you'll be happy to know that one of your students is actually an intern and in the studio with us today.
Right.
So it's really happy that an actual teacher from Urban Prep called us. So we appreciate that call. And we have another caller. Oh.
I just had to point out two quick things.
Hi, Joe.
Hi. In 1988, we had Jules Food Store was pulled out of the area, and then we had a Rising Food Store that was at 6600 South Halsted. I just hope that Whole Foods don't just come in for a little while and move out. And I think what's happening, if I'm wrong, I just want to know the status of OK Corral that's down on 69th and Aberdeen. I think they have moved out.
Yeah, that's actually good point, Joe. Actually, I grew up going to OK's every day. My grandparents are from 67th and Aberdeen. That had turned to a Save-A-Lot, and then eventually that Save-A-Lot was closed because Save-A-Lot thought they were coming to 63rd and Halsted. And so now that is no longer, nothing is happening at that store as far as I know. And so this is definitely a hot topic. And what we wanted to do is show this video. Coming up, we're going to be actually having another member of ours who is a pastor of a church in the community, and we want to talk about the roles of community and of churches and how with so many issues, what is the role of the churches? And so we're going to have our other member Rashana Baldwin and Pastor Jonathan Brooks come on, but we want to show this quick video, just really a snippet about what's happening all over the city all over the United States in terms of food deserts. So just take a look at this video real quick. Yeah.
This is South Central. Liquor stores, fast food, vacant lots. So the city planners, they get together and they figure they're going to change the name South Central to make it represent something else. So they change it to South Los Angeles. Like this is going to fix what's really going wrong in the city. This is South Los Angeles. Liquor stores, fast food, vacant lots. Just like 26.5 million other Americans, I live in a food desert. South Central Los Angeles, home of the drive-through and the drive-by. Funny thing is, the drive-throughs are killing more people than the drive-bys. People are dying from curable diseases in South Central Los Angeles. For instance, the obesity rate in my neighborhood is like 5 times higher than, say, Beverly Hills, which is like probably 8.
Thank you for tuning in to The Rage Call. You're joined live with us, Pastor Jay and myself, Rashana Baldwin. That was a great video discussing food deserts and I think South LA. As we were just discussing earlier with Sonia Harper and Aisha Butler. But we want to move into our segment now with Pastor Jay on the roles of the churches in the community and discuss how many churches are in the community in Englewood. What I understand is over 150 churches. So welcome, Pastor Jay. He's of Canaan Church as well.
Thank you.
So let's get right into it.
Okay.
What are the role of the churches in the community? We have quite a few.
Yeah. One of the issues, I think, before we even talk about the role, is we kind of have to understand the history of the church, especially the African American church. The history of the African American church has been to always be the voice of the people. So when you think of the civil rights movement, what you think of is groups, numbers, hundreds, thousands of African Americans coming together, meeting in churches to hear their voice, to talk about the issues in the community, and the church being the proponent to get that voice out. And I think that that's still the need. Unfortunately, what you've seen now, especially in communities like Englewood, is that the church has kind of just become self-seeking. more so than it's been about
Right,
the voice
right.
of the community. And so you see churches just trying to maintain their own status, maintain their own buildings, maintain their own people, rather than stepping outside the doors and seeing what the real needs are of the community.
Exactly.
Now, it's not all churches, but it's many. And unfortunately, that's become a reputation.
Pretty much so. We have a caller. Let's take the caller. Caller, are you there? What's your question?
I'm not knocking all churches. They're supposed to be doing the work of the Lord, but a lot of these churches are places of religious entertainment. And when you look on Sunday, I can't quote this one report, billions of dollars pass through these churches' hands. Now, if they have billions of dollars every Sunday passing through their hands, what are they doing with this money to help their communities?
Yeah.
Good question. Thank you.
That's a great question. And unfortunately, I can say very little. One of the things I say when I'm talking to pastors in the community is I'll ask a pastor, what's your focus? What's your heart? What is it that you want to do? And they'll usually give me an answer like, oh, we want to see people grow. We want to see this become a great place. We want to see this, this, and this. And I always say, if I looked at your budget right now, would that back up what you think is your focus? And I always say that's how you can tell what the focus of a church is, looking right at its budget. Unfortunately, the churches at Englewood, if we're honest with ourselves, we've been more about maintaining, because that's been what the kind of the premise of the neighborhood has been, right? So the reason why you build a church really quickly in a neighborhood like Englewood is because it's not as expensive as going somewhere else.
Exactly. Could that go to the reason why there are so many churches in Englewood? Because is it easier to get a church than it is?
Where's there vacant space? Where is it easy to get? Churches don't pay property taxes. And so if I can find a storefront building really quickly, not pay any property taxes on it, even if I have a small congregation and I'm just trying to build it up, it's a great place to start. It may not be my long-term goal to be here. It's a great place to start, build it, and then move on to wherever God has me going. So
interesting. Your church, you're doing quite amazing things with your church. You're not the typical church or the typical pastor in the community. You're a resident first, as you said when we talked earlier. You do a plethora of things with Canaan Church, from the 5 loaves to the Fifth Element weekends to even Angels of Hope and Men Virtue Excellence. Can we talk about that more specifically? The incarceration.
I got you. Incarceration alternatives. No problem. I got you.
Thank you. It's a tongue twister.
So, what we do is through a partnership with the Juvenile Temporary Detention Center, there's been a faith-based initiative that just began. And what we did was we asked them, rather than locking up all our young men for small infractions, our kids get sent back to juvenile detention centers for stuff like truancy. So you miss a day of school and you're on parole and you get sent back to juvie, right? You are caught trespassing, which means that somebody could call the police because you were standing out in front of their house and they didn't like it. You get sent back to juvie. So what we did was we approached the system about saying, can you send them to us as the churches? We want these kids. It's not a punishment for us to do what God has called us to do. And so what we do is we promote that. Our churches use 6 days a week for the purposes of juvenile correction. So
awesome.
We house one program and then we operate a program as well as the church. So it's a lot of work. It's different. It's a different approach. Most people just say, get them kids out of here. We say, no, bring them back, because that's what God's people are supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be causing a change and a transformation to happen.
So your church is actually open 6 days a week to the Englewood community?
7 if you count Sunday.
7 days. You don't find too many churches in the community that's open 7 days a week for the public to come in, to anyone to come in to receive your services, not just worship services, but you have, again, a list of services and opportunities and programs that you offer. You also do the 5 Loaves, which is a co-op where it provides health and wellness. I'm glad to talk
about that.
Okay.
Because with the food desert conversation that was just happening before, most people's answer to a food desert is, well, let's just get food and give it away to everybody.
Right.
And our church operates on the premise of the principles of the Christian Community Development Association, which is a group of Christians who believe that God has called the church to be a change agent in the community and for the community. So we don't believe in just handing out things. We believe in empowerment. Folks in our community know what they want to eat, know how to get their hands on it. We just want to provide access.
Right.
And so our co-op is just that. It's just an opportunity. We, through partnership with Trader Joe's, they wouldn't put a store in. We said, we'll take your food the same way.
Awesome. So it's not just about giving them free stuff, but it's also empowering the community. Before we continue, let's take our caller. Caller, are you there, and what's your question?
Yes. Hello. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I was listening to you you all. I used to live in Englewood, and I knew back a long time ago they had lots of things going on there.
Can you talk a little bit louder?
I said I used to live in Englewood. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
yeah,
we
we
can.
hear you.
Okay, I remember they used to have lots of programs. They had the YMCA for the children to go to back in the 60s, okay?
Yeah.
Back in 1965, 66, we had the YMCA right there on 65th and Union. And Old Delhi, the daddy Delhi, took all the children that had problems off to the program. That was good because I was one of them, okay?
Mm.
So that was good. And
Yeah.
back then, it was like everybody cared about each other. It was not about the money. But now it seems like everybody's about the dollar. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that comment. Looks like we have another caller. Caller, what's your question?
Pastor, I have a question for you. All right, not talking about you in particular. We see these churches they building for millions of dollars, and if they spending millions of dollars for a church, why are they not attaching a school to it? And we have such educational problems. Why are they not putting a school on it as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. Once again, unfortunately, right? What tends to happen is that churches are more about maintaining. So if you have $1 million budget, you also have 1 million things you're trying to do, right? So you have this big building with this big bills, with big gas, with big lights, with big this. And so, what they tend to do is have to use their funds to make funds. So a school is not necessarily something that's going to create money. Even private schools, if you talk to most private schools, if it's about making more money, a school is not going to be your choice. If it's about making transformation happen, you'll take the hit. So the question is, what do they really want to do? Not what's best for the community. And unfortunately, that's what we got to try to get some minds changed, to realize that the church's responsibility is to be a change agent in the community.
Exactly. Look like we have another caller. Caller, what's your question?
My question is, I was raised in Englewood. I'll be 68. I moved out of Englewood, but I still have property there, and I'm not that far. But my question is, since you're talking about food desert, have you ever thought about, like, the Austin community? I don't know how often this bus comes around, maybe 3 or 4 times a month, but it's a bus that they created the community to serve nothing but fresh fruit and vegetables. Have you ever thought of that idea?
I believe that went out of business, but thank you for your comment. I wanted you to give out your contact information in the Englewood community, and where is Canaan Church located?
Definitely. With Canaan Community Church, we're right on the corner of 55th and Paulina, 1701 West Garfield Boulevard. And so you can't miss us. A lot of people are confused because our church looks like a large, maybe Catholic church or older looking church, stained glass windows, the whole nine. But you're welcome to come in, ring the doorbell. We want you to come. We want you to be a part and see what we're doing. And I'm also looking for people who are willing to work with the church, because we consider ourselves just an extension arm of the community. If you have an idea, something you want to do that we can come alongside, then we'd be more than willing to see if we can help, even if it's just connecting you to someone else.
And it's a call to action that we encourage you guys to come out to your local beat meetings and also volunteer at your neighborhood school or join Rage. And also come out to Canaan Church, 1701
West Garfield Boulevard.
You have
Sundays at 11. You're welcome to come see us. Matter of fact, 5th Sunday coming up will be a good one. That's the 30th. That's our hip-hop weekend. We turn the entire sanctuary into hip-hop explosions, like I like to call it. So I'm a hip-hop guy. So come through and see God worship in a different way and see what we're doing. We'd love to have you. And if not, just come see me so I can see what you want to do and we can make it work.
And you also said that in the future that you guys are working on a concert series. I know you've been a part of the church for 8 years and you're trying to do something different.
Yeah. What I want to see is I want to see Englewood become a destination spot. And I remember when I was a kid, when I was time to go back to school and get my back to school clothes, I was right there on 63rd and Halsted. So it was a destination spot. But I think the arts is the main way. And we're hoping to start a concert series, kind of like you would see downtown or in Hyde Park or something like that. So we want to use our church. So every month we want to have a different type of music at a concert at the church, and we're hoping that you guys will connect with us for that. So,
well, thank you so much, Pastor Brooks. And again, you're tuning into the Rage Call. Tune in next week at 7:30.